Good morning, happy Sunday. It's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine, and I am here with another Tea and Techniques video for you this week. This is episode number 4 if you are keeping track. And today we are going to do the chalkboard technique. So I'm just going to talk for a couple minutes before I point my camera down at my station and kind of see if we get some people live here to join me. I'm on Facebook, so if you're on Facebook and you want to follow me, at Create with Christine, and I have a page and a group. So you can find me there. Here's the card we're going to make today, and a couple things inspired this card. And what's hilarious is it says, "You are my sunshine," and today's a very gray and it's going to rain later, so I did not plan that, but that's kind of a funny, ironic situation. So I'm using 4 products that are going to retire from the annual catalog, and it's been a busy week. I actually am collaborating with a class that's April 10th, and I finished all my kits and got everything packaged up, and they all got picked up on Friday night, so that was great. On Friday, I did a little video with some of the retiring products, and, oops, I just bumped the camera, sorry. Hey, good morning, Dee, thanks for tuning in. So, and then on Wednesday this past week, we got our retirement list, and we got a peek at the new catalog in a PDF format for demonstrators. So I just want to talk about Ridiculously Awesome. So this stamp set is unfortunately retiring, and the little "You Are My Sunshine" card down here in the corner inspired the card for today, as well as one of my customers, Melissa, that was asking me about the white craft ink and what do I think of it and some techniques you can do with it. So again, I'm using 4 products that are retiring. So the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set. Here's a look at the stamp set cover. I just love this with all the different sentiments. And then that's number 1, Flowers for Every Season, 6x6 Designer Series paper. So here's page 1 of the papers, and they're just so fun and bright and colorful. And Flowers for Every Season, so there are some that are kind of more Christmassy like as well. So the paper, and then I'm using 2 ribbons that are going to retire. The Bumblebee in color ribbon, that's actually, Bumblebee is good for another year, so don't fret about that. And then the white polka dot tulle ribbon is retiring. So the paper and the ribbons are while supplies last, so they actually could sell out today. So I just want to remind you, if you have something on your wish list, to get that order placed ASAP, and I'll share the details of how you can order from my site. So I'm going to point my camera down at the station, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I just got to take a minute to find myself in my feed. So I'm sorry, it's a little bumpy today. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. So again, I'm on page 90 using the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set today. And here's again another look at the stamp set. And I had a customer, Melissa, ask me about using craft ink. So I'm just going to take a sip of tea. I probably should have showed you in the beginning. I have a cute Winnie the Pooh mug today. So I wanted to feature the chalkboard technique. So this is really fun if you're looking for kind of like a subtle white, and it works best on a dark color cardstock. So I'm using basic black cardstock. You could also do it on Night of Navy cardstock as well. So I'm just going to jump in, and I did fussy cut out the flower from the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, but I have an alternate idea for you to embellish. So I'm going to show you the alternate idea, and then I'll put photos on my blog later so you can check out both versions. So I'm going to bring over, I have my piece of basic black cardstock, and this measurement is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And how I got to that measurement is I the border is cut out with the Ornate Layers dies with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so the black will layer right into the white. So that's how I got to my measurement on that. So I want to just bring over a piece of scrap paper because this is a kind of snug fit with the two stamps. I'm using the You Are My Sunshine stamp, and then I'm also using kind of the little, I don't even know what you call it. It's like the little spikes, this little baby thing. And so it barely fits on the cardstock, so it's a little bit of a snug fit. So I just want to make sure I have something to protect my table. So I'm going to bring over the white craft ink pad. So something about this ink pad is when you buy it, it comes totally empty and you have to ink it. So it comes with the ink refill. And all you do is, I'm just going to kind of sort of demo. And I already have ink on myself, so you got to kind of be careful. That's another reason for the scrap paper. You just want to re-ink it back and forth and fill it in with the re-ink or squeezing and adding the ink as you go. So let me know if you have questions about that. But maybe on a future video, I'll re-ink one of my ink pads while we're live, if you want to see that. So I'm just going to add some white with You Are My Sunshine, and I'm going to go towards the bottom, and I'll show you why. Okay, so that looks great. And then with my little spikes, I want one down at the bottom and one up in the corner. So there's my bottom. And then this is why I kind of wanted to go towards the lower half, the lower part of my cardstock. The top won't fit. Actually, I went a little bit off. So if you wanted to have perfect placement, I suggest investing in or using your Stamparatus if you don't already have one. And oops, I wanted to close up my ink pad, force of habit, but I don't want to close it up yet because what I want to do is take my sponge dauber and add a little bit of color around my basic black just to kind of look like a chalkboard. So hence kind of where this technique, the name, comes from. So I have a Post-it note because obviously you're not going to be able to see the white, but I actually want to ink up and then tap off some of the excess. And I kind of just did like a swipe, and you can kind of go around swiping. You don't want to have like big giant globs if you can help it. So you can add as much or as little as you want. But you can also do like the edges of the cardstock if you wanted to do that. So I got to be careful. I want to let this dry because it's craft. So I don't want to go too crazy, but just add some swipes and then stop. You could always add more later, but the problem is if you get too many globs, then you won't like how it comes out. So I did one earlier, and so I could set it aside to dry. And let me get this out of the way and show you. This is the one I did earlier. So I do have a little bit of globs, but then I have an idea how to cover that up. So let me show you the other pieces of how we're going to layer this up. So I have a piece from the Designer Series paper. So again, I'm using Flowers for Every Season. It's a 6x6. So this is the Just Jade piece. And what I'm going to do is put on my white. So again, I cut out the white with the Ornate Layers dies. The basic white cardstock is 3.5 by 5. The Designer Series paper is 4 by 5.25. And most of this is going to get covered up, so. Okay, so now I'm going to put on my ribbons. And just so, what I did is I layered each one on and then layered them over each other. So, thank you, Dee. yeah, this is a fun technique, and I don't think I've ever done it on a live video before. And like I said, with the stamp set retiring, it was just perfect to feature the stamp set one last time. And my customer was asking about the craft, so I'll probably show some other techniques. So I'm just going to use glue dots. I'm putting one in the middle and two at either end. So I got my white polka dot on there, and now I'm going to do my bumblebee. Oh, and I totally just screwed up. I was going to show you a different technique, and not a different technique, but a different idea of how to embellish this card. And luckily, I have some pieces to save the day over here. So I'm just gonna, again, one glue dot in the middle because that's gonna get covered up, and then two on either side. So what I was gonna show you is from this white piece, the 3.5 by 5 that's cut out, you can take the medium punch and punch out 2 daisies right from the middle. And luckily I punched out 2 earlier and have them handy. So here they are. So this is the medium daisy punch. I punched out 2, and we're gonna layer them up. And there's a couple different ways. You can just layer them offset like this. You can hold them in the middle and curl the edges with a bone folder. So there's a couple different ways you can add these on, but I'm just gonna layer them up once I get everything else on at the end here. But you could totally use this piece of white, so you're saving on your cardstock. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna take my You Are My Sunshine I did earlier, and we're gonna put this up on dimensionals over the ribbon. So this is just a sweet and simple card. I use a lot of dimensionals, so I am using 10 here. So I'm here every Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern on my Facebook page, Create with Christine, if you're on Facebook and want to follow me. If you're tuning in and you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel at Create with Christine. So right now I'm doing a Tea and Technique series. So for the next couple weeks, I'll probably be featuring some of the retiring products. And then in about a month, towards the end of April, I'm gonna start doing sneak peeks into the new annual catalog. So right now, the last chance sale goes through May 3rd, and then the new catalog starts May 4th, the new annual catalog. Okay, so in my original, I fussy cut out the sunflower from the same designer series paper, so I just wanna give you a look. This was the piece I used. So it was really easy. I just cut around and tried to make sure I didn't have the Misty Moonlight. So the fussy cutting was pretty simple, but I know some people, fussy cutting is overwhelming for them. So I wanted to show you the daisies. So like I said, you can totally just offset 2. This is the medium daisies. I am just gonna take a glue dot and offset them, and then just put them, figure out how your petals, I don't want to cover up the sentiment, so maybe there is good. I'm just gonna stick this on with a glue dot. Oops, and I moved the petals a tiny bit, but that's okay, they look cute like that. So there you go. And I'm actually gonna put this right to a Just Jade card base. So let me do that, and then I'm gonna show you how to finish off the embellishing with some of the retiring in color enamel dots and the ribbon embellishment that I used. So right onto a Just Jade card base. Okay, so let's do the embellishments first. So these are the in color, the 2020, 2022, and unfortunately these are retiring too, which is super sad because we have these for another year, the colors. So I'm just gonna pick 3 of the bumblebees. So let me lay it down and grab them with my take your pick tool. Oh no. Okay, so when this happens, I move it a tiny bit with my fingernail, I think, maybe, or I can use the other end. You just gotta be careful with this end because it's super sharp. I think I use this end for these guys because they have self-adhesive, so I'm just gonna put 3. Whoops, and see, what ends up happening is this little guy comes off. Okay, well I can fix this later, but you kind of get the idea. I'm gonna put 3 of these little guys, the center of the flower, okay? And then the ribbon, I cut 2 more pieces of ribbon, and it's a 4-inch piece, and I'm just gonna layer them on top of each other. And since I only put my glue dots, one in the center and on the either side, I can feed these through. I'm just gonna have to kind of sort of pinch them and feed them through over here. And I got the bumblebee. Easier said than done while you're live on camera. There we go. Wow. So maybe one at a time. I'm just gonna pick it up and grab it. There we go. Okay, so feed them through, get them about the same length even, and then I'm just gonna tie in a knot. So again, I'm sad to see these ribbons go, but there'll be new ribbons coming, so things to look forward to. Okay, so those were 2 4-inch pieces, and you can kind of make that look pretty and then trim off the tails. So that is my card for today. Let me show you the other sample with here's the sample with the original one with the sunflower fussy cut out from the designer series paper, and then another idea of how to embellish with the medium daisy punch. And I will trim these up and make them look nice, and then there'll be pictures on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com. Don't forget to follow me, and let me bring the camera back up just to finish off this morning. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, Dee. Have a great day. Yes, all my other videos are on YouTube on my channel, Dee. Thanks for asking. And they're also on my Facebook page at Create with Christine. So if you go into the videos section, so I'm Create with Christine pretty much everywhere on YouTube and on Facebook. So make sure to follow me. And if you want to join my mailing list to find out about my specials and my classes and events, you can subscribe. I'll put the information below on how to subscribe to my email list. So thanks for tuning in. I should also mention my March host code, my March 2021 host code. If there is something that you saw today, or there's something on that retirement list that piques your interest, all the embellishments and papers are while supplies last, so those can sell out immediately. I did look at the list yesterday. The Whale Designer Series papers sold out already. A lot of the in color, the retiring in colors, Seaside Spray, Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock are already sold out. So if you order in March, in the next couple days, I am going to send you a free embellishment, and I'm actually going to sweeten the pot in the next couple days too. So if you order under my March 2021 host code, and I'll put it below, but it's ZNFQTMWX. So if you use that host code and spend over $30, I'm going to give you a free embellishment and 10 cards from my supply. So as a thank you for ordering under me. So I think that covers it. Again, last chance list goes until May 3rd, and then the new annual catalog will be out May 4th. But if you want to see what's coming out, you can actually tune in and subscribe to join my team now, and you would get to see the new annual catalog of what's coming. So if you have questions on getting the starter kit and joining my team, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So, oh yeah, I got my tea here, except I'm holding my iPad up, so I want to show you my cute Winnie the Pooh mug before I sign off. So cheers, and I'll see you next week for another Tea and Techniques episode.